What is up, guys? My name is Pocketcraft and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the best Pokemon TCG Pocket for each of the Kanto starters: Blastoise, Venasaur, and Charizard. By the end of this video, I promise you'll be able to walk away with a deck with your favorite Kanto starter that will be able to win against any other deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket, so make sure to stick around to the end of the video so you don't miss out. We'll start off with Blastoise, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We're really pushing to 10k subscribers, and we would love to have you as part of the team. So the way this deck works is you're hopefully able to start with Druddigon here, who is just a tank, right? He has high HP with rough skin, so anytime somebody hits him, it's going to damage them instead, and you are not even going to set up Druddigon. When you build the deck, make sure it only has water energy. We are not going to focus on putting energy on Druddigon at all. He's just a stall, so we have time to set up Blastoise, because he takes a while. It takes 3 energy for him to use Hydro Bazooka, but we really want to get up to 5 energy here, because then he's able to do 160 damage, and he can take out pretty much any card in the game. And so we'll have Druddigon up there to tank, and then we want Vaporeon in the background just to provide some mobility, so we can move energy around. We can switch it from one Blastoise to another if we're in trouble, or from Vaporeon to Blastoise if we need to, and this really allows the deck to be mobile and handle all sorts of different challenges. Then as far as supporters go, you'll want the Pokeball, Professor's Research, Misty of course, and then Leaf is going to be key here. You're really going to need to use these wisely. You want to use them to switch from Druddigon to Blastoise, or if Blastoise is in trouble, you can use it to switch into another Blastoise, and then use Vaporeon to transfer the energy there, and you can still let loose a Hydro Bazooka. I had a lot of fun playing with this deck, and I think you guys will really enjoy it too, but I think it's better for you to be able to watch it in action rather than just hear me talk about it. So I'm going to show you some gameplay right now of a live stream I did recently, and how this deck helped me get some serious wins. And you enjoy. Hopefully we don't get a lagger here. So we do get a Celebi deck, which is annoying, but we're luckily, even though water is usually weak to grass in the normal games, in TCG Pocket it is not weak to grass. And let's see what the move is here. I might use Leaf to go into Druddigon. I think that's our best bet. Give us some time to set up, because we are going to need to set up. Luckily, once Blastoise is set up, he can take out Celebi pretty easily. But as I'm sure all of you guys know, you've probably all faced Celebi and are frustrated by the fact that it can do massive damage. But he will have to set up Superior before he can do much, which gives us a little bit of time. I do love this full art Celebi. I haven't pulled this one yet. I'm hoping I should start trying to get it more, because that is a really sweet card. But yeah, it looks like this is the classic Superior Celebi deck, which we're all used to. And so let's see if Blastoise can take him down. So the strategy, for those of you guys who have been here, is pretty simple with this deck. It's mainly you put Druddigon out front to tank. If he gets hit, he does some damage to him, which is awesome. And then you try and set up Blastoise and Vaporeon on the bench. And if you're lucky, you hit with Misty and you can energy accelerate, which is awesome. If you're unlucky, you can't. And then you can use Vaporeon here to switch energy around from one Blastoise to another, or from Vaporeon to Blastoise, and it allows you to do a lot of flexibility there, which is pretty awesome. 6 years of French and knew nothing, just how to say hi. Well, it is pretty sweet. French is something I would like to learn. The pronunciation in French is a little bit hard for me. I haven't been able to do that as well, but French is a good language, and it is pretty similar to Spanish. But yeah, sometimes in school, I feel like in school Spanish, I did not learn hardly anything. I don't think I learned it much until I went down to Ecuador. But we'll see here. Hopefully we get lucky if he gets double tails, like we got with our Misty. But he does not. If he gets 2 heads, okay, he only gets 1. So we do live another day, which is good, because we need time. We haven't pulled Blastoise yet. So hopefully we can get Professor Oak here, or Blastoise. Blastoise works, because if he hits Druddigon again, he'll be low enough HP that we can take him out with just Blastoise. And I maybe should have waited to evolve. He could have red carded us, but I don't think people usually run red card with Celebi. So we'll see how this goes. And I think we got a pretty good shot here. He hasn't evolved into Superior yet. He might this turn though, and that's where things get pretty dicey. And so let's see if he evolves into Superior. I'd prefer to take... I mean, this Celebi should be out this turn no matter what, unless he Sabrina's us, which would be unfortunate. Okay, he just chooses not to attack, which is the right decision on his part. So, a little annoying he does that, but it's what he's got to do, and it gives us time to set up, because I'm really hoping for Misty, or at this point we probably want to set up another Squirtle line, and that way we can filter through them. That's kind of our best strategy here. See what he goes. I'm sure he's just waiting till he gets Superior, and he's trying to filter through his cards. He's got 9 cards left, so he should probably get it soon, but he hasn't yet. We do get Leaf. If we had one more energy, I would switch and take out his Celebi. But we don't yet, and I don't want to risk losing Blastoise. So this is a risk, but we're going to wait a turn. This might be dumb, but if he doesn't get Superior this turn and he chooses not to attack, this could actually be pretty huge for us. And yes! Okay, we have Leaf, and we just pulled another Squirtle. So we can have him in the back. That is a little dangerous because we've already used 1 Leaf, so if we can't do that again, but I think it's worth it because we'll be able to lose a whole Blastoise this time and still be in the game, which is pretty big. And now we'll get our 5th energy here on Blastoise, go for Hydro Bazooka. That'll take out Celebi, and we'll see here. He'll be able to do a max. He'll have 6 coin turns if he gets Superior next turn, and he'll need to get 4 of those to take us out. So we have a chance. Odds are technically in our favor, but I never want to jinx it with Celebi because it can go either way. Sometimes they get 0 out of 6, or sometimes you get real unlucky and they'll get 6 heads in a row, and you're donezo no matter what. But Blastoise counters it pretty well. He does get Superior, so he is going to get those 6 coin flips, and we'll just have to pray here that we get lucky and he does not get 4 heads. So we'll see what happens. And we're waiting. The suspense is killing me. But okay, he has 1, 2. Oh no. Yes. Okay, we got him. I was pretty worried there. He got 3 in a row, but we lived that. And GG. That is a good game, my friend. But he concedes, and we take him. So there we go. You just saw it. Blastoise EX is a beast. So that's the best Blastoise EX deck, and now we're going to go on to Charizard EX. I call it the Archazard deck. You may have seen it around. It did really well in one of the tournaments recently, and it's built around the 2 most powerful Fire-type Pokemon, Arcanine EX, right here, who does 120 damage with 150 HP, and Charizard EX, who does 200 damage with 180 HP. And then, of course, our setup card, the 3rd Fire EX Pokemon that we're really into, Moltres EX here, who has Inferno Dance and Heat Blast. So the way this deck works, the reason it's so powerful, is you'll start out with Moltres here, and you can use Inferno Dance to set up either Arcanine or Charizard on the bench. The reason we pair it with both is so we can tackle pretty much any kind of deck. If you're going into a deck that sets up really quickly, like Celebi or Starmie, Arcanine is probably your best bet. Arcanine's only a stage 1 evolution, so it doesn't take nearly as long to get him into play. However, if you're going against more setup decks like Blastoise EX or Machamp or Mewtwo, Charizard is definitely your best bet. Once you get him fully set up, he can demolish pretty much anything with his Crimson Storm attack, and he is so much fun to play with. Now we'll pair this with Leaf, and some X speed is pretty great. You'll probably want a Sabrina, Professor's Research, and Pokeball. You could replace this X speed with a potion, and that might be useful in some situations, so you can play around with that and see how you like it. But this deck is really versatile and can take down pretty much anything in the game. If you want, you can also replace Arcanine EX with just normal Arcanine. When I play, I run with 1 of each, but you could just do normal Arcanine here if you're worried about having too many EX Pokemon and getting that 2-point penalty there. But rather than just hear me talk about this deck, I want you guys to see it in action. So I'm going to show you some gameplay right here from a live stream I did recently with this deck, how it works. I'll explain the strategy a little bit more, and you'll be able to see it get some serious wins in action. So if you enjoy the gameplay, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing, and we'll get into the gameplay now. One more battle here with you, and then if we're able to get to 10 viewers by the end of this battle, I'll pour the water on my head. And so that's kind of our time limit here. Looks like Ethan might be using the Scolipede Weezing deck that we set up a couple weeks ago, and so this will be interesting. These are kind of interesting decks to me matched up, so we'll see how it goes. I've created these, so I don't know which one is going to be better. Well, it'll be interesting to see. We do get the Charmander here, which is awesome. We can try and set that up. His deck sets up pretty fast, so Arcanine might be the safer move. It's got pretty low HP Pokemon, so Arcanine can take him out pretty well, but we don't have Growlithe yet, so we'll probably be going for Charizard, and we do have him fully set up there. And I don't think Ethan's running a red card here. If I remember right, from at least the way I built the deck, it doesn't have red card. So if he's doing the same thing, we won't get red carded, which is good. We are pretty susceptible to poison, unfortunately, because Moltres doesn't evolve. But that's okay. I'm going to evolve this other one so we can have our cool full art Charmander sitting here. I love this style here with the stars in the night sky. I think is pretty awesome. But we'll use Inferno Dance, see if hopefully we can set up Charmander here. We've gotten pretty lucky with Inferno Dance recently. So let's see if we get lucky here again. And we get pretty lucky. That's 2 energy. We only need 2 more to be able to do our Crimson Storm on Charizard. So that's pretty huge. It's your favorite deck, so you always use it. That's awesome. I'm glad I was able to help you find a deck that you enjoy. I really do like the Scolipede Weezing deck. It's a fun anti-meta deck, and it works really well. So I'm glad you liked it. And we are at 8 viewers right now, ladies and gentlemen. So with Ethan's Lizard, that is 9. And so if we're able to get one more person on here, I will pour the water on my head. So invite everyone you know, whether it's your brother, sister, cousin, mom, dad, friend, whoever. If we're able to get one more here, I will do that. And so we'll see. I may have to pull some cords away from the desk to make sure it ends up all right. But I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Unfortunately for Ethan, he hasn't gotten his Scolipede line out yet, which is kind of his win condition, and he doesn't have Weezing either. So that's pretty dangerous. This Charizard deck, once it gets set up, is pretty unbeatable. It's one of the things I really like about it. Arcazard is pretty beast mode, and so I would be careful. Unfortunately, Ethan, this is looking pretty good for me, but you still might be able to pull it out. Your deck has no EX cards, so you have some pretty good longevity. If you're able to get a Weezing out next turn, you might have a chance. You'll get your sister mid-battle. Alright, Ethan, I like the energy. That's what we're looking for here. And I think we could retreat, but we'll give Ethan some time. We'll go for another Inferno Dance and see if we could get Charizard fully set up here, or I may go for Arcanine, depending on how many energy we get. We do get 2 there. I think we'll just put them all on Charizard and see if we can sweep with Crimson Storm. Alright, we did drop down to 7 though, guys. So we're going to, with the Lizard, that's 8. So we'll need 2 more. And so we'll see if we can get that here. But I think next turn we will retreat into Charizard and we'll start letting loose. And so I am a big fan of this deck. Oh, and I just realized I made a huge mistake and I put out normal Arcanine. I meant to do Arcanine EX, so that's unfortunate. We don't get Leaf, unfortunately. That's who I would have liked there, so we could have switched out Moltres. But we'll go into Charizard here. And I mean, we don't really need to use the Pokeball. I think we might even have, well, there may be one Growlithe we don't have out yet. But I think our position is pretty good here. We'll go for Crimson Storm here to take out Coughing. And then we just need 2 more of those and we should have the game. So these decks are pretty sweet. I do love using this Charizard deck. And I do love looking at this Crown or Charizard. This is probably my proudest pull that I've had yet. But I should use the Charizard EX Immersive card more because I do think it's pretty sweet. Speaking of that, tomorrow I have a video coming out talking about what I think are the coolest immersive cards. So make sure you guys check that out. It should be a pretty fun video. It's a little lower pressure than the normal videos I do where I focus on tips and tricks and things like that. It's more focused on just kind of fun things and aesthetics, but hopefully you guys like it. And shoot, Ethan, I'm sorry, you've gotten unfortunate RNG here. You haven't been able to pull Weezing yet at all, which really stinks. That is kind of your win condition there. So that is unfortunate. That is the way of Pokemon TCG Pocket sometimes, unfortunately, since it is a card game. Things are left up to chance, and sometimes you just get unlucky. But appreciate the battle, and I'm grateful for all of you who are here. And we'll finish this one out here. He does get evolved into Whirlipede, so he can get the poison off. If he had one more turn, he could probably take out Charizard with his Scolipede, but unfortunately, he is not going to get that chance. And so we'll go for Crimson Storm here, take him out, and we did drop down to 6, plus the Lizard, so that's 7. So the water will not happen this stream, but deal is on for next stream as well. Now that's my favorite Charizard EX deck, but now let's go on to our last and one of my favorite starters of all time, Venasaur EX. So the way this deck works is it's built around Venasaur EX and Exeggutor EX, and there's a really important reason why. I absolutely love this deck, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it as well. It's really powerful. Venasaur is an absolute tank with 190 HP, and his attack, Giant Bloom, heals 30 damage. If you pair that with Erica and a potion, you can heal up to 100 damage per turn on your Venasaur, making him an absolute monster. But Venusaur's main weakness is he takes 4 energy before you can use Giant Bloom, which takes a while to set up. So the way this deck functions, the reason it's so good is we pair it with Exeggutor EX. Exeggutor can only do a max of 80 damage, but you only need 1 energy card, and he also is pretty bulky with 160 HP. So when you combine Exeggutor and Venusaur together, with Erica and potions, this deck becomes super powerful. You can pair this with Leaf or with the X Speed. Personally, I would probably just go 2 Leafs over the X Speed. When I first built this deck, I only had 1 Leaf, and so I didn't do it yet, but now that I have 2, I would probably replace that there. So this deck is super powerful, but rather than just talk about how this deck works, I want to show you guys how it works. So we're going to watch some gameplay right here from one of my live streams where I use this deck, and you'll be able to see how it works. Hopefully this next one goes better. It looks like we're against a dark deck, but we do get the almost perfect setup right now with our deck. So we'll see. It looks like it's going to be a Weezing deck is my guess, which is a little dangerous, but if we can get a Bulbasaur right here, we have the best setup possible, which we do. So as long as we don't get red carded, we're going first so we can evolve next turn and attack with Exeggutor, and then we can start setting up Bulbasaur on the bench, which will be a pretty good spot for us. He may pull out Weezing, which is always annoying to deal with, and so we'll have to deal with that, but I think we got a pretty good chance. Both of our Pokemon are pretty tanky. So luckily this guy seems to be going faster. He's not doing it as slow as the other guy, which is nice. It's really unfortunate when you're going to be against someone who has this bad Wi-Fi connection. It just takes forever. And I feel like there's a lot of times you're just sitting and waiting, and sometimes I'm just tempted to concede so I can go into a quicker battle, but maybe that says something about my patience. So we'll evolve into Exeggutor here, and I think we'll put a potion on him just so he's at full health. And then his job is just going to be to tank and get off as much damage as possible while we set up Venusaur. Now if we get heads here, that would be epic. We do. So we knock out Coughing here first turn, and then he will have to. That sets him back 1 energy, which is always nice. I mean, Weezing doesn't take much energy anyways, but I am pretty happy with that. Now, like I said, this is the best startup because right off the bat, we have the ability to do 80 damage our first turn where we can attack, which is really hard to go against with most other decks. He actually does have probably one of the best decks for it. Weezing is pretty tanky, and he evolves quickly as well, and only needs 1 energy. So that is unfortunate, and he probably has Koga in the back, but I think we're in a pretty good spot. He's going to do a lot of damage here, but I think we'll probably go for an Erica, and then we'll just keep setting up in the back. I may wait a turn for Erica. Let's see, we'll evolve here. I think, yeah, we have 160. We're in Erica. I want to be as high in health as possible while we set up. My main strategy here is, again, it just takes a long time to set up Venusaur, and so the longer Exeggutor can be out here battling, the better. Because once Venusaur is set up between Giant Bloom, and then if you have any more potions and Erica in the back, he is pretty hard to take down. And so by the time he's set up, you have a pretty good chance of winning, but it just takes a while. And so if Exeggutor can do some work for us here, we'll be in good shape. Unfortunately, he is probably going to Koga, which I don't love, and he's setting up Muck in the back, which is pretty dangerous because we are poisoned. So for those of you who don't know, Muck, when you are poisoned, does 120 damage, which would take us out right here. So that is not great, but I don't think there's anything we can really do about it. We could try and retreat, but I don't think it's worth it. I think I'd rather just try and get Venusaur set up, because even if he knocks out Exeggutor next turn, which is possible if he has Koga in the back, we will be pretty well set up with Venusaur. So we do get heads, which is awesome. If he doesn't have Koga, then we'll be able to take care of Weezing. But since he has Weezing and Muck here, it's almost guaranteed Koga's in the deck. He may just not have it in his hand, but we'll see. He'll play it right here if he has it. And, okay, Pokeball. Let's see. This could be good for us if he doesn't play Koga. But there we go. Yeah, Koga comes in. Muck goes out. Now, our best bet, if we could pull Leaf this turn, we would be in a pretty good position. We'll see, because he can't attack us yet. And now we got to decide what to do. So I don't want to lose Executor, but I don't want to go waste an energy to retreat. Because Muck's going to do 70 damage, and he has another Koga in there somewhere. I'm going to risk it and sack Executor. I don't know if that's the best bet, but it's what we're going to do. We'll get off 80 damage here, which is awesome. So Venasaur will be able to one-shot Muck, and then we'll hopefully be able to take out the rest of his Pokemon before he can set him up. Because Muck is going to be the main way he does damage here, and he takes a while to set up. So I don't think he'll have enough time to set up another Muck before we are able to take out 3 of his Pokemon. So it's a bit of a risk, but we're going to go for it because he can't Koga this turn and attack. He'd have to choose. And so we'll see. And I'm assuming he's going to attack to get rid of Executor. So that does give him 2 points, which is unfortunate, but we already have 1. And I'm banking that we can do another one here. So we'll see what happens. Venasaur is fully set up. And so I think we got the chance here. We do get our full art Venasaur, which I like a lot. That was it's one of the rarest cards we've pulled and the ones I've been most excited about. And I think this is going to be a dub. I don't want to jinx us, but I think we got it. So we'll go here. Let me know if you guys have seen any other Venusaur deck variants that you like. I'm always looking for new deck ideas, but I think this one is probably my favorite one that I've run into. And so we should have this one here. He's going to go for Gas Leak. The poison is annoying, but Giant Bloom will counteract most of it. And then we do have 1 more potion and 1 more Erica in our deck. And so I don't think there's really anything that he can do here. It'll take too much time for him to set up Venusaur. Not Venusaur, Muck. We'll pull here, see what we come up with. We might as well start setting up another Venusaur just in case, but I don't think it'll be necessary. But it's always good to be prepared. Giant Bloom, and I think next turn we should win no matter what. Unless he Kogas and evolves into Muck, it'll take us 2 more turns, but I don't think there's any way for him to win at this point. So we'll see if he Kogas or attacks. My guess is he will Koga, and he has the full art Koga, which is actually pretty sweet. But he's going to go into Grimer here. If he evolves, it'll take him an extra turn before he gets knocked out. But if he doesn't evolve, then okay. So he probably should have just conceded there. Maybe he doesn't realize how many points are on the board, but we should be good. So there we go. That'll be 1 for 1 right now. 1 win, 1 loss. We'll see. Depending on the time, I like to stream for about 30 minutes or so, and so we may not be able to get a full 5 in. We'll try and hit 5, but we'll hope to at least get a winning record here. Ethan, you said you just beat a Mewtwo deck without him ending any of your cards. That's awesome. Good work. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to learn more about Pokemon TCG Pocket, check out this video right here where I teach you the top 50 tips and tricks for Pokemon TCG Pocket. Thank you for watching and have a great day.